WWE, you lazy, uncreative sons of bitches. This is the Monday Night Raw you give us. The go-home show to WrestleMania, and this is the show that you decide to give us. The laziness, the lack of creativity that oozes from this portion of the WWE is just preposterous. How can you guys literally sit there, write this Raw, and think that this is a great Raw? Think this is a good idea for the go-home show, for the most important show of the year. Now, I won't completely say it was all bad, because there are a few things that were good. But there was a lot of bad here. A lot of bad. And I really didn't want to come up here and just bury the show. But when you give us these types of shows, what more do you want me to do? Raw emanated from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania tonight. March 27th, 2017. And we get some good things, like I said. But for the most part, this didn't feel like a go-home show to WrestleMania. You could have done so much more with this show, and you decided not to. You took the easy way out, and a lot of things aren't built correctly. So let's get into it. The women's match at WrestleMania is now an elimination match. The Fatal 4-Way Raw match for the Women's Championship is an elimination match. That's fine. Cool, whatever. So we get that first segment. Bayley comes out, says she's excited for Mania. Charlotte comes out, makes fun of her. Then Sasha comes out because Charlotte says Sasha's using her, and she successfully did it, and she fought her way back into the title picture because after Charlotte beat her, she wasn't supposed to have any more title opportunities, but now she used Bayley to get that chance again. Sasha came out and says their friendship is better than that. We know the turn's coming. Nia Jax comes out and says they're all pitiful. We have a tag team match. Not gonna hold you guys up here. The segment didn't do anything for me. I mean, Nia sounded alright, but like I said, they need to turn Sasha already. Bayley needs to improve on her promos, and Charlotte needs to stop sounding like a damn robot. So yeah, the tag team match, very sloppy, all over the place. Just not a match that probably should have happened. They cleaned it up a little bit, but like I said, it wasn't the greatest match. I hope they have a better match at WrestleMania. I hope this isn't a sign of things to come. Bayley hit her comeback after Nia and Charlotte pretty much dominated the match. Sasha saved Bayley from the figure 8 and took Nia to the outside. Then Bayley hit Bayley to belly to pick up the win. And then after the match, Nia Jax took out all of them to keep her dominance. So that's fine what they did with Nia. Didn't really care about anything else. Finally, Bayley won on Raw. The women's champion finally won the damn match. So that's fine. But just the promo segment in general did nothing for me. Moving on, because I don't want to spend too much time on this show. Sami Zayn interviewed about Foley being gone and stuff. Said, he wants to step up to the plate. He's entering the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and he's dedicating the match to Mick Foley. Stephanie pops up and was like, nah, it's not going to go down like that. You have to earn your way into the match, and you have to face Kevin Owens in a no disqualification match. And if you lose, you're going to be just like Mick Foley. Fired. Once again, Stephanie burying the talent, and nobody gets one up on her. Perfect. Awesome. Austin Aries had a match against Noam Dar. Neville was on commentary pretty much trying to see if Aries could impress him. He said he didn't. Aries was impressive in the match, though. He beat Noam Dar with the Discus 5 arm and put him into the last chancery and made him tap out. He was pretty much, of course, showing off for Neville just to show him a sign of things to come at WrestleMania. I think this is going to be probably one of the best matches on the show, if not the best match. So just look out for this match because I feel like these two are going to tear the freaking house down. Give them enough time to do so. 15-20 minutes would be perfect. And I'm sure these guys will put on a wrestling clinic. I'm sure of it. They were showing Undertaker vignettes all throughout the night. They showed one to begin Raw of him, near a gravesite. And then they showed one of him walking towards graves. And, they updated it all throughout the night. Seth Rollins showed up with his crutch and knee brace and headed to the ring to sign the Hold Harmless agreement. for his match with Triple H, the non-sanctioned match at WrestleMania. Pretty much meaning that Triple H could do whatever to Seth Rollins in his career, and Seth Rollins can't sue the company, and the company can't be held liable for anything that happens. Triple H can't be, or Stephanie. So that's pretty much the basis of this contract signing. So Seth came out, called Triple H out so they can get it over with. Triple H came out and told him to sit down so he can explain the contract to him and explain what he's getting himself into, and told him to sit there and listen. Seth didn't want to. He was just standing up. Let's just sign the contract and be gone. So Triple H was like, all right, you don't want to listen? Match is off. Seth finally sat down. Triple H sat down and explained everything. So he tells him, just tells him to just listen. He says he wants Seth to know what it means when he signs this contract. He gives up all his rights when he signs it and gets in the ring with him. And he takes that crutch and wraps it around his knee, and Seth feels something tearing up or whatever. He feels his knee tearing again. He won't stop until he destroyed what he created. And when he signs this, he gives up all his rights. And when he can't stand it, his career is over. He can't sue him, Stephanie, or the WWE. Seth says, I get it. Sign the contract and hand it over. Triple H says, you didn't sell your soul, back when you stood by my side. You took an opportunity. And why? Why are you mad now? Because of what they say? If you're a millionaire, you're the devil, and if you're a billionaire, you're the Antichrist. Is it because the guys in the back didn't like you? Hell, if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right. Triple H says he'd rather live in a mansion and have nice things than to make people happy. He tells Seth to grab life by the balls and make it do exactly what you want it to do. So since he wants to sign the contract at the Ultimate Thrill Ride, you'll end up right back in Birmingham, and maybe they'll patch your knee up, and maybe your family will forgive you for all the money you left on the table and your career being over. And he says he's a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, and no man with one leg has ever won that contest, and he will not be the first. He knows that if he doesn't sign it for the second year in a row, he won't be able to go into Mania. But if he does sign it, he'll walk into Mania, but he can bet his ass that he's not walking out. Seth then explains to him that he fell for that same line of bullcrap when he bought in 3 years ago. Has it been that long? Guess so. And since he doesn't explain him, let him explain. While he was rehabbing, he gained a perspective about himself. He liked himself before he met Triple H. He was proud. He didn't mind fighting for a hot dog and a handshake in the Philly Armory back in the days. He just loved the business. And sure, when they fought together, he gained a lot. He had a ton of perks, and he pretty much had the whole world in his hands. But it's not about that or the match at Mania. It's about redemption. He gave up everything and everyone who was his friend or, who stood by him to stand next to Triple H, and for what? What does he have to show for it? At WrestleMania, he better be prepared to tear his leg off and beat him with it, or have a stretcher on standby to carry him out, because nothing will stop him from tearing Triple H apart. He's fighting to get back to the man that he was before he ever met him. And that's Seth freaking Rollins. He signs the contract, and then of course Triple H, as he's getting up or whatever, he pushes the table into him and attacks him. Seth crawls to get up. Triple H goes to hit him with the crutch, not the crotch, and he counters with the enziguri. He goes for a pedigree on Triple H, but Triple H just attacks his bad knee instead. Then he sets him up for the pedigree, but Rollins dumps him over the top rope out to the outside. When Triple H goes to get back in, Seth clocks him with the crutch, and Triple H gets the hell up out of there. So this was fine. This was all right. I'm okay with the build that they're doing here. The whole injury angle, whether it's real or not, I feel like they would have went this route anyway. And yeah, the non-sanctioned match will be a pretty good match. Then, as Raw was slightly gaining a little bit of momentum, we get this damn over-the-top rope challenge. And I still don't know who won this match. Big Show started off with Jinder steroids Mahal. Jinder gets tossed out. Bo Dallas came out. He gets tossed out of the ring. The Shining Stars came out, and you guessed it, he tossed them both out too. Goldust, Curtis Axel, and R-Truth came out. And then, Bo Dallas, Jinder Mahal, and the Shining Stars, they all attacked Big Show and threw him out the ring. He gets back in. And as they try to attack him again, he pushes all of them off of him and just starts destroying them with choke slams and knockout punches. And that was pretty much it. I don't know who won the match. They started playing his music, but then they cut it to play Braun Strowman's music. He came out. The crowd went crazy for it. He says if he wanted to, he'd come down to the ring and kick his ass, but since that's what everybody wants, they're not going to get it. They'll have to wait to WrestleMania. Big Show was really upset about that as he wanted Strowman to come to the ring. I don't know, man. I feel like if Braun Strowman doesn't win this, or if Sami Zayn doesn't win this, what is the point? What is the point? And even if they do win it, are they going to do something with them winning it? Or not? Like, if not, then why are we even having this battle royal to begin with? You would think they would use it to elevate talent, but they haven't exactly done that. Oh, whatever. Gallows and Anderson are interviewed, and they call Enzo and Cass idiots for talking too much last week, and they lost their match, pretty much adding Cesaro and Sheamus back into it. They said they're really stupid, and you can't teach that. They said that they're the tag team champions, and you can't teach that, and they'll still be champions after Mania, and you can't teach that. Pretty much taking a shot at Enzo and Cass's gimmick. We had another Taker vignette, and this time he's digging a hole for a soul. Then Roman Reigns is asked about the signs and everything, and Roman says he's a grown man. He doesn't read into signs or mind games, but he doesn't believe in dead men. And then he says he's going to the ring to tell the world what he's going to do to The Undertaker. We had a New Day segment, or just a video package, them shenanigans, who cares. Cesaro and Sheamus were backstage talking about their win last week and being in the match at Mania and trying to make Foley proud. And Cesaro said he missed Mania last year, he won't do it again. And, as they're, talking to whoever was interviewing them, they get attacked. Gallows and Anderson attacked them. And, Cesaro pushed Sheamus out the way, caught a super kick. They started double teaming Sheamus, and then they grabbed a ladder, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, okay, we're going to have a triple threat ladder match for the tag team champions at WrestleMania. Okay, I'm fine with that. And it made Gallows and Anderson look good, finally. This is the first time they've looked good since they won the titles. And even before that, they haven't looked good at all, even being the champions. So they finally they didn't look like idiots tonight. I'll just give them that. That's a positive. They didn't look like idiots. And we saw some more of them later on. We had a good cruiserweight match, which is probably the match of the night. Neville and Jack Gallagher. These two tore down the house the last time they faced off. I think it was at Fastlane, actually. This was a big challenge for Neville because he almost lost to Gallagher in that match. But this was another very aggressive match. Neville hitting that nice snap suplex. They both ran into each other. And that damn headbutt, which just looks brutal and looks like it hurts. That sound that happens every time they collide, it just does not sound pretty. But pretty much Neville won the match after he hit a superplex and locked Gallagher into the rings of Saturn and made him tap out. Pretty much how Austin Aries made Noam Dar tap out earlier in the night. Then after the match, we get an Austin Aries special report. He's backstage and says Neville really thinks nobody believes that Austin Aries can beat him at WrestleMania. So he brings in the New Day to ask them how they feel about it. And the New Day pretty much say it's based on if he can move his hips the right way or something. And then he starts dancing and gyrating with them. And that was pretty cool. I guess the crowd got into it. Austin Aries didn't look bad. He didn't look like a fool who was just shaking his hips. He looked like he had some rhythm to him. So I guess that was okay. Whatever. Like I said, I think their match is going to be good. Very, very good. But it's on the damn pre-show, I heard. I don't want to see this on the pre-show. Put this on the main roster. I mean, on the main card. I feel like they're missing an opportunity if they just throw this on the pre-show. Because a lot of people aren't going to see it. Because a lot of people don't care about the pre-show. We'll see. We'll see what they do. Then we get Roman Reigns, who comes out to address The Undertaker. This was good. This was the second good thing they did tonight. Roman comes out and immediately gets heat on the crowd. Immediately. Because in 2015, in Philly, he won the Royal Rumble match. So he immediately goes to that. He says he won the Royal Rumble match in Philly in 2015. Went on to headline WrestleMania twice. And for the longest time, he thought that was the biggest moment in his career, but he was wrong. It's this year facing The Undertaker. He says he's going to do what no man did before him, and he's going to put the dead man down. I'm guessing he meant for good, because Brock Lesnar did a pretty good job at that at WrestleMania 30. But anyway, he says he doesn't care if it's Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, or even The Undertaker. It's his time now. This sold-out arena is his house, and this ring is his yard. And the way he said it, he didn't give a damn if the crowd booed him or cheered him. And he looked right at him. He pointed at all of them. He said, "This is my house. And this ring right here, that's my yard." And that's when Taker's gong hits. He appears on the screen in the same graveyard he's been walking around the whole night. He tells Roman he made a grave mistake. The ring he's standing in is actually his yard, and this is going to be your yard, as he shows him the grave that he dug for him. He lives out the one versus all mantra, so he carved out a special place in hell for him to add his soul to his collection, all alone. At WrestleMania, the Roman Empire will fall, and the Ultimate Thrill Ride will be his last ride. Then he shows a tombstone with Roman Reigns' name on it, and it says April 2nd, 2017. Taker advises him to live each day as it's his last, because soon it will be. At WrestleMania, he will, and he didn't say rest in peace. His music started playing, the lights went out. You hear the crowd, so you know Taker's in the ring. Roman turns around and looks. Taker's right behind him, and he says, as I was saying, at WrestleMania, you will rest in peace. And then he lifted his arms, the sound of thunder and everything happened, and then he lowered them, and then the lights went out and they went to commercial. So that was a good segment. I appreciated what they did with Reigns and with Undertaker. The Undertaker's always money, so no problems with him. This was good. This got me more excited for the match, even though I know what's going to happen, but still, it got me more excited for it. So that was fine. It was great teasing, the heel Roman. He came across as an asshole and they booed him, which I'm thinking is exactly what WWE wanted. Great segment. And of course, like I said, Undertaker is money as usual. We were supposed to get Enzo and Cass versus Anderson and Gallows. Enzo and Cass come out, play towards the Philly crowd, made an Allen Iverson practice reference, and then It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. As Gallows and Anderson were making their way to the ring, Sheamus and Cesaro came back to attack them with the ladder. Then they go after Enzo and Cass. Enzo jumps off the steel steps to try to attack Cesaro, but gets caught with an uppercut from hell. And then they try to double team Cass. He gets the best of them and knocks them down, picks up the ladder. And then Anderson and Gallows get back into the ring and attack him. And they grab the ladder themselves. Cesaro's getting up onto the apron, but they ram the ladder into his ribs, which happened to be taped from their attack earlier in the night. He landed on the barricade. That was it for him. Enzo tried climbing to the top rope, but was quickly knocked off when they threw the ladder into his jaw. Knocked him out to the outside of the ring. He looked like he died. So like I said, the tag team champions didn't look like idiots, and they finally overcame something for once. So that was good. That was fine. And them using the ladder is pretty much telling me it's going to be a ladder match. So I'm fine with that stipulation for that match. I think it needs it. If it was just a regular triple threat match, it wouldn't be that great. But the fact that the ladder is being involved is very interesting to me. Kevin Owens interviewed about him possibly taking Sami Zayn's job away if he beats him tonight and facing his former best friend Chris Jericho. And that's when he stopped the interviewer. I think Dasha is who it was. He says he was never best friends with Jericho, and he says he never thought of him as a hero, but he was just a fan. He says Jericho made fun of him last week for being a fan, and that's because Chris Jericho fans are idiots, which pretty much said he called himself an idiot. I don't know. He says if he knew him like he did back in the day, he would have never had his parents waste their money on his merchandise, and he would have treated it like he treated the list of Jericho last week when he ripped it up. Then he says he's going to take Sami Zayn's career away from him like Jericho took away his Universal Championship. And he's not going to get even with Jericho at WrestleMania. He's going to one-up him by not only taking his title, but he'll turn the Ultimate Thrill Ride into his ultimate demise. And that's when we get Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. If Sami Zayn wins, he will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. If not, he's fired. So like I said, no disqualification, so they fought all over the arena, of course, as they normally do. I was actually rooting for Sami Zayn to lose, because if he gets fired, SmackDown Live can pick him up. He would be fired from Raw, not the whole WWE. So, I really thought that he was going to lose, especially when Samoa Joe came out to help Kevin Owens. But Jericho came out to assist Sami Zayn, and it was at that point I knew Sami was going to win. So, Jericho came from the crowd as Samoa Joe was waiting on him with a steel chair to come down the entrance ramp. He came through the crowd, took the chair from Joe, hit him with the chair, distracted Kevin Owens. Then as he got back into the ring, Sami Zayn rolled him up for the win. And he will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I do not like at all, but that's what they're doing with Sami Zayn. They don't have any plans for him, so I guess his push or whatever they were going to do with him is not going to happen as reported. Whatever. And then, Jericho and Zayn winded up being on top because Owens tried to attack Zayn after the match. Jericho got back into the ring, hit him with the chair, and him and Joe left. They got to the entrance ramp, and then Jericho put Owens on the list, which he seemed very pissed off about after Jericho did it, which I'm just like, I thought he didn't care about the list, but now he's upset that he got put on the list. That kind of didn't make no sense to me. Whatever. Who cares? I feel like they're going to have a good match, but that whole thing was very unnecessary. And then we get the final thing of Raw. Goldberg goes face to face with Lesnar. That's how they built this thing up all night. Goldberg was going to go face to face with Lesnar. So Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar come out. Paul Heyman's putting Brock over as he always does. Says everyone has a different opinion between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Says Goldberg will walk down that aisle at WrestleMania, the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion. It means that you are the one, and Brock knows about being the one, as you know, the one behind the one in 21-1 at the time when he broke the streak. And it means you're the top dog of the flagship show in the WWE. But Brock wants that title, he needs that title, and he lusts after that title. Goldberg has that title, and so many others have tried, like Sting did, where he fell short. Goldberg rose to the occasion. He earned his admiration and compliments. He says that Goldberg is a real-life superhero. He's truly the man, but Brock Lesnar is the beast. And the beast is going to chew him up and spit him out like nobody's seen before. Really, really bad things happen to authentic superheroes when they step into the ring with Brock Lesnar. He says you need a reason to purchase the network and a reason to get a ticket at Mania, even though it's sold out at this point. Well, Goldberg's going to Suplex City, where he'll check in, but he won't check out. This will be the last Goldberg chant on Raw. They should rename it WrestleMania 33, The Death of a Superhero. Brock doesn't fear the spear, but Goldberg can't survive the F5. And that's when Goldberg's music hits and he comes out. But he just stands on the stage instead of getting in the ring. Like I said, they built this up as Goldberg and Brock Lesnar face to face. He says people didn't come to hear them talk, they came to see them fight. And since he can't take Philly to WrestleMania, he'll take WrestleMania to Philly. And then that's when Lesnar's like, come on, let's go. So Goldberg takes off his title and charges towards the ring. He doesn't run because he's going to lose his breath. But he walks very gingerly to the ring. And Brock is like, screw this. I'm not waiting for you to get in the ring. I'm going to get out the ring and come at you. Bad mistake. Brock gets out the ring and gets speared. That's it. Goldberg gets into the ring and celebrates with his title. No jackhammer, no F5s, just one spear. After Heyman just said that Brock doesn't fear the spear, he sure enough was down on that ground after he took one. And we pretty much know what's going to happen in Mania, of course, but no face-to-face, just spear, and that was it. That was all that happened. Brock got speared by Goldberg, and that's how Raw went off. You're trying to build towards this match. And I know you're trying to save it. You're trying to save them going at each other for for Mania, even though the match isn't going to be that long. But Goldberg just said he's going to bring WrestleMania to Philly, and that's completely accurate because of how short the match will be at WrestleMania. He's going to bring WrestleMania to Philly. That's exactly what he did. It's just going to be the other way around when Brock Lesnar wins the match. And it's not going to go that long because Goldberg isn't going to be in that match for that long. He can't. He's not in the shape to endure a long match. So that match isn't going to go long. I really hope that's not the last match that we see at WrestleMania. That would be very bad. Especially if it's going to be that short. It doesn't need to be the last match. You can just do that match and then we have a great match to end it. That's what we need to do. We don't need to have these two be the final match. If like 4 or 5 matches are the main event, then we don't need to have that match last. If that's what they're coining it as, oh, there's multiple main events. God damn it. So why put them, if they're not the main event, they don't need to be the main event. The main event is the last match. We don't need to see them be the last match. We saw that at Survivor Series and it was stupid. It didn't work. I mean, it worked to get the people talking, so if that's what you want to do, fine. But this is WrestleMania. This ain't Survivor Series. This is a whole different show. This is the biggest stage. You need to go out with a good match. This isn't going to be a good match. I'm sorry, but it's not. I don't care how many F5s Goldberg gets hit with. It's not going to be a good match. It's going to be just like the match at 20. I'm telling you right now, it's going to get crapped on just like that match. If they have a good match, I'll be the first one to come up here and say, hey, this was a good match. But until I see it for myself, I won't believe it. But that was Raw, the supposed go-home show to WrestleMania. I put quotations on that. But this was a very lackluster show, and it only got me excited for really 2 things. That's it. Other than that, I could care less about the Raw side at WrestleMania. I really don't care. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Was this a good go-home show for Monday Night Raw? I'm excited for Smackdown tomorrow because I know they're going to do a good job. Or at least a better job than Raw did of building WrestleMania. The biggest show of the year. Both shows have been kind of lazy, but SmackDown's done a way better job of it. So, like I said, let me know how you guys felt about Raw in the comment section down below. Slap a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry I had to come up here and bury Raw, but you can just blame WWE for that. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for my SmackDown Live review. And I'll talk to you guys later on. Peace.